Hello everyone, it is Pat with Angel Divination with our daily oracle card reading and message for Friday, the 2nd of March, 2012. Happy March everyone, we're finally into this new month. Yesterday I wasn't feeling very well, so I didn't get to doing a reading, but we are back on track today to head into the weekend. And for today's reading, when I asked, I felt called to Archangel Michael's deck and also the Life Purpose Oracle card deck. And what I felt when I asked what card deck to pull from, it came to my awareness that there really was a new shift or light that came in last month. I think around the 12th or mid-month, going right through to the end of this past week. And so there was a lot that was kind of going on, shifting for people. And now we're kind of, I think we may be just at the end of that huge shift or that period where there's a whole bunch of new light that's come in. And I think even at the in the reading that Doreen Virtue did for this week, the final card that she got for this week had to do with the end of a karmic cycle. So we had a little, phase where we had a whole bunch of new light come in, and now for many of us, it's bringing something to an end for us. Like as that card had suggested, the end of a karmic cycle. So I felt drawn to, when I asked, Archangel Michael came in strongly, and the image of his card deck. And as we know, Michael is very much working with people with their life purpose and their path. And so you may find that there is a new life path, maybe in the form of a career path that's evolving for you. Okay, so the card that's come out from Michael's deck as I shuffled it and, as I was talking to you, the card that came out is this one, a very powerful one as always. And it says, God is in charge. And you see Michael there with his sword of light next to what appears to be a mother and a child. And the prayer on the card says, Dear God, please help me let go of this situation, giving it in faith and trust to your divine wisdom and infinite love in order to resolve and heal everything and everyone involved. All right, so it indicates that there may be or may have been some situations that you have been wrestling with, whirling around in your head and in your body. I know I have to raise my hand and say I am guilty of this completely. And it is reminding you to turn it over to the divine as the healer. And as the card says, for resolving and healing everything and everyone involved. Now, to me, when I see that mom with the child that Archangel Michael is standing next to with the sword of light, one, it's a message of protectiveness, letting us know that we are protected as we go through these changes, even if they feel unsettling to us. Now, they may not feel unsettling to you. You may not feel disturbed in any way. But to me, I feel when I look at this card that there are some big changes coming through for a lot of us. And this card is letting us know with the image that's on it that Michael is protecting us. And he's protecting all aspects of ourselves are being protected. And all in our family are being protected as well, because the mother and child in this indicates to me both the adult within us and the child within us, as well as any children that we may be dealing with, if that's what the situation is that you've been dealing with. So it is a message of protection that all of those that Michael's got our back, that we are being protected as we go through these changes, and that we really have to kind of like surrender it and just take a step back and remember that God's in charge. In fact, I was feeling in a place myself where I was struggling a little bit with stuff. And then as I was perusing Facebook this morning, I came across something that Doreen herself had actually put out. She said, the only reason why you sometimes feel powerless is because you become unaware of your source. Since you're continuously tapped in to divine energy and God is eternally strong, your might never leaves you or diminishes. So, and that's what this card is a reminder of as well, that God is always in charge. And you always have God's might and God's power available to you. It never changes. It never wavers. It never leaves you. Only our awareness of it does. Only our, there are times when we choose to allow the, when we choose to allow what we see in the world to affect our hopefulness about things. We choose to allow the things we see in the world to be a reflection of us in some way, that, it might feel like the world's going to hell in a handbasket, or maybe everything we see around us in our physical world is just showing us negativity or sadness, or, are we ever going to get around this? Are we ever going to, but, and as we do that, when we allow those outward, images or experiences to dictate or to convey to us who we are and what our value is, we lose our power to it, because it's really the other way around. The outer is just a reflection of something from the inner. It's a projected image. And sometimes it's a little bit hard to grasp that concept, but this card is a reminder that God is in charge of it all, that His might is always available to us, that His strength and His power is always there. And once we declare that and remember, it's a reminder to surrender these situations that are troubling us, or that are seemingly impossible at times, or that we can't see a solution to. It's really, to step back, humble yourself, and surrender it. Really, it's not any kind of weakness to do that. It's actually, by surrendering it, you'll allow the ideas or the inspirations or the guidance to flow to you actually much more rapidly. When you give up and not give up, but when you surrender it and say, God, I've had enough. I'm just handing this over to you because I don't know how to deal with it anymore. Or I can't see a solution. You're allowing divine intervention and divine timing to take care of it, which brings about much more miraculous solutions, a bigger, better solution probably perhaps than what we could imagine. So I know that was a lot to say about that one card, but that card speaks volumes. Every time I see that card, I feel a sense of relief. It's like, oh yeah, remember to just let it go. And, know that you're not in charge, and you don't always have to be in charge. You don't always have to be controlling what's going on. In fact, it's a card that urges you to kind of let go of control and just let it be. Let it be what it is. So I know that's a huge message for me today. So I hope it's helpful to you in some way as well. So now I'm going to call upon the Life Purpose Oracle card deck, because I was drawn to this, as Michael's in charge of that. And so is God. God is in charge of it too. So as a new life purpose or a new calling comes forward to you, and I think perhaps this comes to my awareness because, as we've seen on the news, there are, there's a lot of places that have been devastated by tornadoes, earth changes, or earth, the storms and the changes that naturally occur in our world. It's not anything unusual for the earth perhaps, but it is kind of devastating for us in our day-to-day life. But there's been wonderful acts of kindness, people really called to gallantry and helping out their neighbor, whether they know them or not, extending a helping hand. And that's what the core of our humanity is all about. It's about community and people helping each other out in any variety of ways. More so than just in the donating of goods or monies. They're actually getting in there and putting their hands to work and helping people out. So it's really a wonderful thing to see. Now, the Soul Purpose card that came out, or this Life Purpose card, I'm sorry, is Spiritual Teacher. And it says, you heal with your classes, sessions, and seminars. And if you notice on this card that the symbols of many different religious and spiritual denominations are depicted. Okay, so this is not exclusive to any one particular faith. You know, it could mean for you the faith that you are in. You know, for some people out there, maybe if you're Christian or Catholic in origin, maybe you felt called to be a priest, or felt called to the path of being a sister or a nun, or, you know, some kind of devotional path that way. You know, for other people, and if you know, encounter this, maybe this is a confirmation of that for you, that that is indeed a path for you. For other people, it's a more non-denominational path. But, you know, sometimes being a spiritual teacher is just being the one who has the wise words that you comfort someone with for today. It's, you know, maybe someone comes to you feeling quite broken and not knowing where to turn, and you have the words of wisdom, you know, however humble they may be or however humble they may seem. You know, it's your words that help uplift somebody today. That's being a spiritual teacher also. So bear that in mind. But, you know, also to me, as I look at the symbols on the card, it goes out to some of you in your own faiths, in your own faiths. I want to make sure I'm saying that the right way. That you may feel called within your own faith to positions of leadership, or to, newly, I want to say newly evolving positions within your religion or faith that are, kind of coming out now. And I'm not sure what all of those would be, as I'm not aligned. I don't follow any one particular faith, but you may feel called forward into positions of leadership, or just a particular path within your faith that maybe you've been thinking that you wanted to follow. Maybe it's the path of being a reverend or a pastor, or a rabbi, something along those lines. So, and for many of us out there, this also just speaks to those of us who are teachers of metaphysical topics too. It's a call to us to get out there, because as the earth goes through its changes and as we go through these shifts in consciousness, it is very much needed. People are very much looking towards the spiritual teachers who are out here now, whether we're out here on YouTube or out in our particular religious faiths and denominations, or in the various books that are out there. This may be calling you to put your book out there as a spiritual teacher, or someone who gives classes at different places. So it's really a call for you to get out there, but also a reminder that you can be a spiritual teacher in any capacity, in any place where you are already currently interacting with people. If that is at a job, know that you can be that spiritual teacher there too. And it may be part of following your dream to step into the role of spiritual teacher. And if you find that you're being called that way, know that it's part of the shifts in consciousness and the shifts and changes that are taking place right now. And that it is okay for you to follow that path, that you will be supported both materially, financially, in whatever way you need. So that's a rather long message today for Friday going into the weekend. And, remember, as you step into that path, that God is in charge, that you'll be, you can kind of relax and say, okay, God, Archangel Michael, just show me the next step. So that is our message for today. Going into the weekend, Friday, March 2nd here. I will be back with you tomorrow for the weekend reading. So take care, everyone. Have a lovely Friday, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Take care.